Hello and welcome to this field and service demo presented to you today by Fonseca Advisors. This solution that we're going to show you today is extremely helpful for you if you're using today a BEAS solution to allow you to keep track of all the requests your partners and clients might have for any in-house repairs or field services. I will show you today a journey on how to manage these flows within the new Fonseca Advisors field and service solution. So today, if we have an example, I've received a call from one of my clients. I'm going to, as per standard or not, create a service call for my client. And I'm basically going to document exactly what is needed. He phoned me today and requested some field maintenance for, maybe one of his conveyor belts or something like that. And within that, the system will allocate activities to specified resources for them to review and maybe create a sales order. As you can see here, this activity linked to Milton is going to ask me to create a sales order. So I have traceability of that. I can create a service call to an activity, to a sales order, and then it will link it back to the actual created document for the sales order created. So you have full traceability from the get-go on any request, maybe in-house or field service. And as you can see here on the sales order, I just simply allocated my standard field service item. You can have as many as you require with very specific demands and requests. And that specific field service is linked to what we call a specific calculation, which I'll show you in a second, which will help you define the costs of the service provided today. And you can also add a priority level: critical, high, standard, low. All of this is defined on the service call received. So you can add that, and this will highly impact the scheduling of your services to be sent out on a day-to-day basis. So here what is happening. When I add in my field service, I know what my client has requested from me. So I am able, basically on my calculation, to create or add a pre-existing one for my services. Within the pre-calculation, I will add the items needed and the services needed. Everything will be listed here inside. And you can add new items. You can change the quantities, the cost of those items at any given time. For example, here I'm going to go from 2 to 1 item. And this will automatically update the cost on my field service job. I can review this, I can add some surcharges, I can add some overheads. I can pretty much do anything I want. As you can see here, it's calculating all these full labor and material costs with some surcharges and some markups to get the valuations that I require, extremely precise from the system. When I update this, the system is going to ask me, hey, you've just changed the price in your sales order. Would you like to update it? Absolutely would like to update it. So now the sales order has the expected cost or not from the system. For example, here, if I wanted to, here I've changed it back to 1 and it goes back here. But, that's not exactly what I needed. I needed 2. So I'm going to go back to 2 and do the one for 2 units of pumps. So I'm going to go back to my edit, and I can do that over and over again until I am satisfied with the build of the requirements I need today. So here, for example, my pump 1, I said, nope, my client didn't say it was just 1. He needs to change 2. And that is up to you. It's you decide how you want to manage based on your client's requirements. So here again, I just update, very simple. I update one more time, the cost has changed. I update my documents. The system is going to say you've changed the price. It takes no time at all, and job done. So the system is again going to update the sales order, and it's good to go. I've done the same thing with my other client today. So here's my best client, but I also have one for my mad producer. Let me, do you want to continue with something? No, I want to save this because I've updated my sales price. So let's update this quickly. And if I go straight to my other work order, sales order, I apologize, you will see here, I have here a field service for my mad producer, but also a repair service. And here you see different prices and different logics. And you can also add priority levels if you wanted to hit standard. So nothing critical at this point today. So basically here, once you've created everything, you can basically go to, and as you can see again, the activities, you can go to what we call our sales order to production order. This screen is going to help you just centralize all of your demands for field services. As you can see here, I have all my field services documented for multiple different clients, different dates, different requirements. And you can basically come in here and review what you want to do and execute it either into an individual order. So you can do basically one work order per client, or you could do what we call a collective order, which is basically selecting multiple field services based on your definitions of dates or requirements, however you would like to do it. And by doing so, you can create that specific demand. Let me show you exactly what happens. If I go now to our work orders, here you go, just here. Well, you've created all the work orders from the sales orders, so you've done your job. Here in the work orders, I'm going to filter out by my latest work orders. So which one am I looking at? I'm looking at the latest one created, which is my 325, actually no, 302. Excellent. Let's see what happened here. As you can see here on my work order, it has created my two different field services for my two different sales orders. As you can see here, it's linked to my sales order 125, and this one is linked to my work order sales order 126 for my mad producer and my best client, and the specified date of today. As you remember, I had a priority level defined on my best client for a high level, I believe so, and the system automatically allocates that criticality level for you to be able to schedule them automatically using, which we'll see a bit later on, our automatic advanced production scheduler. And once this is done, the system automatically calculates the time required for the operator defined for the job to go and drive and execute the job. For example, today everything's in Florida. So my operator will leave from his specified Florida warehouse, and to go to my first client, it will take him 3 hours to drive there. And the system automatically allocates that time for you. And the system, once he knows where you are, will also check how long it takes to drive from my best client to my mad producer, which, as you can see here, is a bit less than the first job defined. This one will only take me about an hour to drive from A to B. So the system, thanks to Google Maps integration with our solution, will allow you to basically know at any given time how long it would, the expectation time would be for our operator or field service agents to go to the defined field service. So here you have the job, and then you can go to what we call the advanced production scheduler. Again, from APS, you are capable of basically defining a specific scenario. What we call a scenario is basically all of the jobs required for either my field service or my in-house repair jobs, for example. Here, as you can see, I have all my jobs, and I have my two latest jobs that have been defined here today. I want to select these two jobs for the same work order, of course, and see if I can comply to defined dates of today. All you have to do is click on Calculate, and based on all the existing scheduled jobs that you have before, the system will see if you are able or not to execute the job today entirely. So let's just calculate. And as you can see, the system calculated for me automatically. It's telling me I can comply today with the first portion of the job due to the capacity of the resource, but it seems like he will be finishing the second portion the next day. But I do have sufficient material, so I am able to basically say, hey, I have material, I have the information, my operator just needs to go there and start executing the defined jobs. So once I'm happy with the scheduling, I can plan it and say that this is now available for my resource to basically connect and execute the job. But let me quickly show you the Gantt chart, which is also a very helpful tool to select your resources if ever, for example, this one cannot comply, you're able to change your resource on the go. So as you can see here on the Gantt chart, I've selected my jobs, and I can basically review the planning of everything that is done by the system. And here, basically, I can always go back here and basically check my resources utilization. Just by a glance, I can say, oh, wow, for the remaining time of the day, basically, I won't be able to comply with all the requirements. So basically what it did is it's sort of using everything that's remaining and pushing it back to the next day, which is the 6th. He will finish early around the 6th, which is why it's important to be able to do that. I can also check my resources, and basically what's great about this is that I'm able to, if, for example, this service is not the one, if I know this one is not working, for example, I can always select another resource and say, hey, please substitute my operator to another one, and this will automatically update the reports for your operators to execute on a specific job and day. So you can manually and automatically change your resources based on any specified logic. Very powerful tools for you to have in your scheduling purposes to allow to optimize your services based on any urgency levels that you might have. So here's your APS Gantt chart and information that we talked about. So here again, I'm just going to plan it and say this is good to go. Got my material, plan the work orders, good to go. By planning it, I'm releasing it for the reports. So now they know they can start executing the desired job. And now we get into the exciting part. We're actually going to go and now we've done all the planning and execution on the, let's say, the desktop operation. Let's go to now the handheld devices and the actual operator. So welcome to your what we call the terminal web apps. This is your operator's day-to-day tool where you can use on his tablet, Android phone, handheld devices, scanners, whatever may it be that he has available. All he has to do is basically enter via his card number, which is predefined to each and every resource for the job. He connects and he'll be able to see his application, the field and repair service application on the web apps. All he'll have to do is click on it, and by clicking on it, he'll be able to punch in and punch out on a day-to-day basis. For example, here I punched out, but if I started today, I'll be able to just click on punch in, and it will automatically allocate the SAP time, your database time, directly into the application, which will help you keep track of GPS location, start of the day, and end of the day of your employee. If the employee has any issues, he will be able to select the issue per se, maybe a certification day, maintenance issue, or just a truck breakdown, for example. This is just some examples offered out of the box, but you can create your own interruption reasons to keep track of any concerns you might have for the operator when he starts his day. And once he's done that, he can always go back to his field and service, and within the field and service, he will see all of his tasks for the day. Here he has about 6 or 7 tasks for the day allocated to his schedule, and the one I'm going to show you today is my 302 job, linked to multiple services. So here what I can do is select it, check the Google Maps, and see exactly where it's taking me. So I have the address listed. This comes from SAP also and helps you just directly get your GPS going when you start driving to your client. Once you do that, you can go to your start time and click on driving. By clicking on driving, you've actively set a time type of driving and is now documenting it as such. You're now going to your client. You can close your phone, your web apps, whatever you're doing. You can just close it, and once you're ready and you arrive, you can come back in and say, "Hey, I have arrived. This is the active job I have right now." I can just click on stop time, and I have literally just documented my driving time in the work order for you. So all the costs and everything that you need to have is documented and traced. So you also have GPS location every time he clocks in and clocks out. And then I can go back in and I can start the time again and say, hey, this time I'm actually processing. And the great thing about processing is that the system actually tells you what you require for today based on what we did initially with all our pre-calculations, our setups, and information. So I know exactly what was expected of me, and I can just literally select and review the requirements. So I'm just literally on the site, working, doing what I have to do. So as you can see here, you're basically able to select a picture and you can take pictures at any given time. So if you have multiple cameras available, you can select it and literally just take pictures and it will store it for you so that you can go back to it at any given time for traceability purposes. If the image was not captured, you can if you want. Let's do one. Let's take a picture. So I'm taking a picture. The image was saved and stored for you to review at any given time. So basically, I'm just processing my job, and you see the warehouse in this. This is basically my truck. I'm basically going to select the information from my truck. I'm going to select some materials, and as you can see here, it's selecting the information from my truck, so I can select it and allocate it to my let's say issue here, and it's going to basically allocate, as you can see here, the materials that I'm selecting for the job today. So here again, I can just go and grab it, select it, and I can see what's in my truck or not. So here, for example, I can select this one. In here, I can just click on issue. So the system is just basically allocating material. I'm just consuming whatever I have in my truck, and I can click on stop time and complete the job. So once I've actually finished everything, I can review what's listed. I can review the pictures I took. As you can see here, if you had multiple pictures, you'll be able to review them. And you can always, list who's signing, what any remarks, and the signature. But hey, you know what? I've actually forgotten something. So I could just always add bombs if I wanted to. So here you could just go and grab any selected item, any items you wanted to, and select it to your specified job, and it would add it to the work order. So in case you actually had more or less, here it is. You could add it and continue your work. And this will increment cost again to your job. So if you've used your actual cost, then you would be able to document a different cost than the plan because, things happen on site. You never know what happens. So this is a way for you to keep track of that. So basically here, like I said, you can review all that was selected. You can review your pictures, you can review who's signing, CEO, let's say CEO, my best client. You can add some remarks, satisfied, of course he's satisfied with our work. And basically here you can add a good old signature, fingerprint signature, just like that. And you can click on complete. And the system is basically going to create all of the issuing documents. It's going to be able to create all of the storage of documents, pictures, information for traceability. Everything is here for you to keep track of. So a very powerful tool indeed for you to use on your day-to-day basis. As you can see here, service time entry was created and the job has disappeared off the list. You have completed your job. So that means here everything is reported back. You can now start your second one and literally go back and do the rest. Go to your Google Maps. As you can see, it's a different area. You can select it, drive to it, and do exactly again the same process flow. So again, extremely powerful, extremely useful service tool for you on a day-to-day basis. So once you've completed your job, basically the work order will have the information for you stored, as you can see here on the documents on the work order, all the information provided. And the great thing about the system, obviously, is that it also sends out automatically any information related. I have some previously created documents that I have right here, and that basically sends out a digital service sign-off with all any pictures, consumed materials, batches, and the signature if needed. And you can obviously update this document as you feel fit and required. And this basically covers the initial requirements for the Field and Services demo. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please ask me and we can follow up in a second call. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.